Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Diane. Today I'm going to be making oatmeal. That's right, oatmeal, homemade oatmeal from scratch. Not this artificial stuff that you get in the store that comes in a box that has a whole list of ingredients in it. Just good old-fashioned long cooking oats. Okay, so with our oatmeal today, the only thing that we're gonna need for your basic oatmeal is you just need the oats, and these are just the Kroger brand of old fashioned oats, and you brown sugar, which if you don't want to use sugar or anything, you don't have to. I prefer to use brown sugar, and then milk, and you gotta have butter. Okay. So first, let me just tell you about this. On the back, there are instructions, and they're there for a purpose. Do not just throw water in a pan and throw some oats in and think you're going to have oatmeal. You're going to have a hot mess. So follow these serving directions. They're there for a purpose. It's one serving if it's just for you, two if it's you and your child. If you have more than one child, it may be four. Just double that recipe. Whatever you need, just double it. It just gives you suggestions 1, 2, and 6. You make it how you need it. Interestingly enough, you see where they have on here for the liquid, they have milk, and that's listed first. Aha. Well, I always use milk when I make mine. So it's called for milk or water. I do not put salt in it. And then it tells you how many oats that you need in your recipe. So in today's economy, um, mothers, you go ahead on and use the water because you're going to need that milk for the cereal when you want to just give them something quick to eat. Just use water. I've used water before. It's fine because we're going to kind of cover up some of that flavor with just regular, we just use regular water. All right, so the first thing we do is I'm making it for 2 people. So it calls for 1 3/4 cup of milk or water. I normally do not use all milk. I use kind of like half and half. So this is about a cup of milk and then 3/4 cup of water. So we're going to pour this in here with the stove off. Okay. And then because I'm making it for 2 people, um, it's my oats. And again, these are old-fashioned oats. These are not the quick cooking kind that you cook in a minute. And we're going to just sprinkle these in the pan. And what I like to do is I like to just let it sit in there and soak for about a minute before I turn it on. Okay, so we're going to just let it sit in there. And I want to show you something while that's sitting. Oatmeal takes less than 10 minutes to cook, and you got a nice, wholesome breakfast for your children, or for yourself, or your spouse. When you look at the list of ingredients that's in it, what do we see here? Ingredients: whole grain rolled oats. That's all. It's one ingredient. When we go to the store and we buy that stuff that's in a box, oh, and I wish I had a box here, but I could have donated it. But there's a whole slew of ingredients, so you don't know what you're giving your children or your family. So don't do the instant stuff. Make it yourself. It'll be great, and I guarantee you they will love it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move in, but just remember, you only need, if you're just gonna make plain oatmeal, you only need 3 ingredients, and that's gonna be actually 2. The oatmeal, oats, and whatever liquid you're going to use. And it calls for salt, but I normally do not put the salt in there. But you gotta have the butter. You always gotta put the butter. This is gonna go in at the very end. So we're ready. I'm gonna turn it on, and I'm gonna turn it on because you want it to be at a roaring boil. Do not boil the milk first and then put the oats in. That's a mistake. You want to start out in a cold pan with cold milk, okay? And then you're going to turn it on, and we're going to let it get to a boil. Once it gets to a boil, then we're going to set our timer for 5 to 6 minutes, okay? The longer you let it cook, the more like thicker it's gonna get, and maybe a little too gummy, and you might have to add a little milk or water to kind of thin it out. That's okay, that's fine. But you want to start out in the cold pan. So we're gonna let this come to a really good boil. It doesn't take very long for that to happen. Okay, we're starting to get some action, and we want to stir. Stirring is key. It is absolutely imperative that you stir this. You don't want it to stick, okay? So you're pretty much going to be stirring this all the way through the whole process. All right, so while you were waiting for that minute or so for the milk or the water to soak up some of that liquid, you could have been getting your children ready to get up and eat, wash their little faces, doing whatever else you need to be doing in the kitchen, and then come back and you turn this on and you get it going. Okay, we have not started timing yet. We want to get it to where it's bubbling and boiling, okay? But we just don't want to start it out at the boiling stage. Like I said, you're going to have a hot mess if you do that. All right, as you can see, it's beginning to bubble. I can see some bubbles. So now we're going to start our timer, okay? And that's a really good bowl. That's where you want to be at for now, okay? So, like again I said, this is not on high. It's kind of like a medium high on my stovetop. I've got it on number 9. And the longer it cooks, I will be turning it down a little bit. But that's great. That's where you want it to be at, okay? So at one point we're going to turn it down a little bit, but we want it to remain at a boil so it can cook those oats. And if it gets to looking like you need to add a little bit more water to it, just go ahead and do that. It's not going to hurt anything, I promise you, okay? But oatmeal is a good, hearty breakfast. Some people will eat it not only for breakfast, but they'll eat it for a snack, even eat it for dinner. So we just want to have something nutritious for our children. And we're going to stop giving them all of that processed stuff that's out there on the market, because we don't know what those ingredients are. We can't read half of them. All right, it's really boiling really good. We're going to turn it down. We still want it to be bubbling and boiling, but we're going to turn it down a little bit, okay? Okay, so my timer is still going. I'm stirring, and I can tell that I need to add a little fluid. Now I've got it down on a 7. I'm just going to go in and pour in a little water. That's okay if it reduces a little bit. That is absolutely fine. Okay. Now at this point, we're at the 2-minute mark. Okay. And that oatmeal is looking yummy, yummy. So we're going to stir in some brown sugar because we want it to get in there and mix in with it and just be yummy, yummy, yummy. So this is a 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. And that's normally what I would use when making for 2. But because I'm going to be adding peaches today, I'm going to only use half of that. I just showed you that so you could see. I normally put, excuse me, and a serving for 2. But we're just going to go in with half of that. So that's, you can see the color, that's starting to look really good right there. We still have about a minute left, and that's looking really good. I've turned it down to probably about a medium high now, and we're stirring it. Also remember, we're going to be adding today we're going to be adding peaches, and what I did was, these are just canned peaches, okay, they look good, that I got from Aldi. And again, your ingredients is just peaches, peach juice, pear juice. I don't know why I got pear juice again, but anyway, natural flavor, and then some preservatives, natural preservatives. But now you know what's going in your child's belly. And to this, I just took the peaches that were in the can, they're sliced. I just cut them up, diced them up, and then I added about 1 to 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Sprinkle it over there, stir it up, set it in the refrigerator overnight so that it can absorb some of that sugar, brown sugar, into the peaches, and you're going to have some real goodness. You do what you think you need to do for your children, okay? Now we're down to about less than a minute, not even a minute, seconds. We're going to throw in our butter. We're going to have the timer go off very shortly. There we go. The timer is going off. And we put in our butter. Like I said, I use about 3 tablespoons. We like it nice and buttery. But you use what you want to use. We're not going to put the peaches into this, okay? And you notice that I still got it on, the stove on. I'm going to turn it down to about a 5. So, I don't know, what's that, about a medium low or something? Let's put it on a 4. But look, it's not burning, not sticking, because we have been doing our due diligence to stir it and keep it stirred up. Okay. So to this basic oatmeal, you can add anything you want. You don't have to do brown sugar. You can do just a regular cane white sugar, whatever you want, whatever you have in your pantry, use it. That's what you want to do. Don't be going out buying stuff. Food is high right now. You make do with what you got. Okay, so that is looking real good. And we're going to cut this off. And we're going to put this together. Okay, so I have taken it off the stove and I've put it in a bowl. I'm getting ready to add my diced peaches that I've added brown sugar to. I did pour off the majority of the juice, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You don't have to do that. I did pour off half of the juice, and I just drank it. But you can give it to your children to drink. And we're going to go in here and you put how many other peaches you want. Like I said, this is 1 can of peaches. Not artificial. Just peaches, nice and canned peaches. Don't they look good, y'all? Now, if you want to knock it up a notch, you come in here with some walnuts. Or if you like pecans, do whatever you like. But that's some walnuts to give it a nice crunch. My husband likes walnuts. So, there it is. You've made it. And give it a nice stirring. And it's not like them dried bits that you get in that packaged stuff. Ooh, this bowl is hot, y'all. It smells good. I wish you could smell it. We're going to take a test taste. Okay. Here we go. Get a little bit of the peach and the oatmeal. Mm. Mm-hmm. Trust me when I say your children are going to love this. Your hubby is going to love this. You adjust what you decide to start in according to what your children like, according to what you like. Okay? But it doesn't get any better than homemade oatmeal without all of those artificial ingredients that you do not need, that we do not know what they are. Thank you for coming back to my channel. Enjoy, be blessed, and I will see you next time.